What's up everyone, this is Michael with No Limits Lee. Thank you for clicking into this week's video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over some warm-up techniques that we can use to avoid injury and to optimize blood flow. And I'm also going to be discussing how we can use bands to help with exercise regression as well as progression, and also how it can help, how bands can promote blood flow and also longevity. So this is footage that I recorded a few weeks ago in Linsen Park in Taipei, Taiwan. And this, right now I'm doing scapular retractions. So the shoulder has 6 different positions. Okay, so we have retraction, protraction, external rotation, internal rotation, depression, and elevation. So this move that I'm doing right now, the idea is that our weight is completely off of our feet. So you can't see, but my feet are not touching the ground. All of my weight is being used through my hands, so it's also kind of grip training in a sense. But the idea here is to warm up the shoulder girdle so that when we do more advanced techniques with higher intensity, our shoulder will be nice and warmed up and we can avoid injuries in that way. So with this exercise, it's more like a warm-up exercise, but you want to try to keep your elbows straight and you want to retract the scapula, so that is squeeze the shoulder blades together, as well as do scapular depression. So scapular depression, we can think about pushing our shoulders away from our ears. So this next exercise, this is one that when people ask me how to do a pull-up, and because they can't do one pull-up, this is probably my number one go-to exercise, because most people are lacking strength in the concentric movement. So with this exercise, we're able to remove the concentric portion of the pull-up, and we use the lower body to jump up, and then we rely completely on our upper body for the eccentric. So if you're not able to do a pull-up, then start with the first exercise, that is the scapular retractions. Do those regularly, and then once those become too easy for you, start to integrate these as well, which is basically just a jumping pull-up where you're just controlling the negative. And then this exercise, this is called the Typewriter Pull Up. This is a more advanced technique, and I haven't done it in a long time. That's why I just kind of threw it in there. But I think it's also important to note that training, yes, it can be very specific, it can be heavily programmed, but at the same time, it's really important that our training is that we're able to express our creativity and we're able to have fun in our training. And for me, I realized that's the number one way to promote, be able to exercise over a long period of time, because this isn't just a 1 week thing, a 1 month transformation. This is decades and decades. This is our entire life full of blood flow. So now this is a horizontal row, and I know this is more advanced, but if you find a lower bar, you can do that, with your feet on the ground, or you can do it with bands as well. But that's something that I also kind of missed out on, was horizontal pulling, balancing horizontal pulling with vertical pulling, because pull-ups are, it's a vertical pull, but we can't forget to also do horizontal pulling every once in a while. So the move I just did was called a pullover, which is an interesting pulling technique because it's kind of a hybrid of vertical and horizontal pulling, but it's an easier way to get on top of the pull-up bar. And once you're up there, then you can do some pushing techniques. So right now I'm doing straight bar dips. And once you get on top of the bar, it really unleashes opens up a lot of gates and doors for you to express your creativity. So now here, I'm kind of going backwards, but this is some bands. So this is a good way to kind of warm up, but I just did some dips, which hits your triceps, shoulders, and chest. This is a band extension, overhead extension, which is targeting the triceps. And also, the great thing about bands is that only your feet is touching the ground right now, so it's also considered a closed kinetic chain exercise. So I am also engaging my core. I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm driving my weight through my heels and engaging my hamstrings, as well as keeping my abs tight. But that overhead extension movement is specifically targeting the long head of the tricep. So a lot of push-down exercises are going to target more the medial head of the tricep, but that overhead extension, that's going to target the medius part of your tricep, that is the long head. So now I'm doing vertical band presses, and you can actually see my left shoulder is it's not extending as high as my right shoulder, and that's likely because I've actually injured my left shoulder in the past. I dislocated it doing explosive archer pull-ups and not warming up properly. But this is also a great band exercise that you can do anywhere. It can be used as a warm-up technique, or you can crank up the intensity and make it into a full shoulder / tricep push workout. So now I'm going into band pull-aparts, this is in an ideal world we'd all be doing these every single day because we're all doing so much work in front of us. One of the biggest problems in terms of muscular imbalance in the population is lack of posterior chain development. So this is really focusing on the posterior chain of the upper back and the shoulder girdle as well. So we're hitting the rear delt, we're hitting the traps, we're hitting the lats a little bit as well. But this is really balancing out all of the work that we're doing on our computers, on our phones every day. Even just talking to people, it's rare that we're able to specifically target the rear shoulder, the rear delt muscle. And Athlete X it's a YouTube channel that has a great tutorial on that if you want to learn more information about the band pull-aparts. So I usually follow up with some face pulls, but this is actually the shoulder dislocate, which is another great warm-up exercise to get blood pumping into the shoulder. And again, just to help minimize the muscular imbalances from all of our office work. So this is a great one if you're just been working, sitting down for a while, for a couple hours, just get up and do it, 10 to 20 reps of this. And what's great with the bands is if it becomes too easy, just simply grab it a little bit closer, make the distance shorter, and therefore the resistance on the band is higher, and it therefore requires more mobility. So I did a pullover, and now I'm using my band to progress the dip exercise to increase the intensity. So that's the important thing I think with bands, how flexible they are, because I think a lot of people use them to regress exercises. For example, if they can't do a full pull-up, then they can use the band for an assisted band pull-up. But bands can also be used to make exercises harder once they become too easier. So therefore, we can increase the intensity, we can tweak our programming so we can further achieve our goals. So here I'm doing this again. I'm really just having fun with this wasn't really a full training session. This was more a filming session to make an instructional/educational video for YouTube. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Feel free to share this video for anyone who could use some help warming up or how to do exercises, body weight exercises with bands. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for weekly content. And let me know what type of videos you'd like to see, because right now I'm still kind of experimenting. This is my 6th consistent weekly upload with YouTube, and so far I'm enjoying it. So thanks for watching.